They say you can tell a great actor when they know how to talk with their back. And so whether your back is like this, or your back is like that, or your back is like that, you're telling a story with your spine. We don't think about our spines because it's back there, unless, of course, you have an injury or you hurt yourself in some way, and in that case, you can't stop thinking about your spine. But because your spine actually goes all the way down from the bottom of your trunk up into your head, it is conducting the story of your life every single second. A lot of people don't even realize that your spine can move like a wave, right? You have 4 curves, and when you walk, your spine is supposed to actually move in an undulatory fashion, not that big, of course, but there's that wave that's supposed to move through you. And what happens with a lot of people is that their spine gets stuck in different parts of themselves, and they move as if that is their center of gravity. So, for example, if I got stuck right down here so that my center of gravity or my movement was just coming from here and the rest of me wasn't moving, I would look something like this. And you can see that that's already telling the story of a character. Or if I moved it up to here, then I would be walking like this. Again, a different kind of personality. And if it's stuck up in my neck, then I'm going to walk like this. All of those are places where the spine may have stopped moving that wave. So that's one way that our spine expresses character and emotion. Now, because of our society of spending our time on our computers and on our cell phones and in our cars, many of us have developed a spinal orientation that looks like this. Again, not quite as exaggerated for everybody. It might just be a little bit, but that means that your head has to come a little bit forward so that then you're starting to spend your time fighting gravity, holding your head up, which is exhausting, and your chest starts to cave in, which, believe it or not, when your chest is caved in and your head is like this, your nervous system starts to tell you that you're depressed. And so then you get depressed, and so then you get it down even lower. So one wants to work on finding a way to keep an erect spine, or else you're just communicating lack of vitality, weakness, or depression. Now, of course, not everybody's like this. We also can communicate this way. I'm strong. I'm tall. I'm in charge. The spine is going forward. And of course, it's great if you want to go forward, but you don't have a lot of options for retreat. So you don't want to get stuck in just being in that aggressive forward position. There's a lot of talk these days about power posing. And power posing does help create a kind of hormonal rush that makes you feel strong and forward, but you don't want to get stuck there, because then you don't have the choice to be soft, to be vulnerable, to be open to somebody, to receive them into your heart, because your spine is not allowing them to come in. So it's important to maintain flexibility in your spine. Actors actually train their spines to move by doing something called an undulation. And if you think about it, you can try it too if you want to. I'm going to do it sideways just so you can see it, where they think about all the different parts. So your knees bending, then the pelvis moving forward, then you're rolling through your spine until you come to the head, moving through, creating a wave through your spine. Now, of course, those of you who go to a lot of clubs dancing, you probably know how to do this movement when you're dancing. But who knew that it also is reflective of different aspects of character? So it's a great way to find some spinal flexibility. You can also work on sideways bending, because your spine is doing that sideways bending, and that's important to have. You want to have that flexibility so that you can reach for things, so that you can go and bend to the side and be in an asymmetrical position. These are all really important life skills. So don't lose the flexibility of your spine. You know, there's an interesting story about, there was this comedian His name was Charlie Chaplin, and he was a very famous silent film actor. And he was in this movie where he actually was being counter to what he usually played. He was playing kind of a villain who had murdered his wife and hid her. And they sent a telegram to say, we think that your wife has been murdered. And he's pretending that, of course, she wasn't murdered. But you see him with his back to the audience, and he's doing this. And then he turns around, and everyone's thinking that he's crying, and he's shaking a martini shaker. So you can see how you can use your back to express and also to trick people.